The Business Journal invited Westchester County Executive Andy Spano and his Chief Advisor Susan Tolchin to come in today to meet with our editorial board and talk about a number of issues that had to do with business and economic development here in Westchester. Mr. Spano, certainly one of the concerns for business owners here in Westchester is affordable housing for their workers. Could you tell us a little bit about some of the initiatives that are going on in the county to build more affordable housing?
Let me say that affordable housing is the single most difficult issue that I face in county government. And it's very important because of the continuity of the society. You can't have rich and poor. You're going to have a gamut and a way of people moving through poverty and middle class, and hopefully, you know, if you want to get a house somewhere else, you can afford it. But we have a very aggressive program to build affordable housing. Our problem is that we can't always find land in order to build this on. And when we find land, sometimes we get such pushback from the communities that it's difficult to get it done. But we have the money. We have presented incentives. We have incentives when we do IDA benefits. We have incentives when we do money from our legacy program for parkland. We're looking at creative solutions that might involve the campuses of corporations or the school grounds for teachers. We're willing to look at everything. And we have the money. We have the builders that want to do it. Our problem is getting the will all the time of individual localities in order to get it done.
Well, we invited County Executive Andy Spano and his Chief Advisor Susan Tolchin to come in and meet with us because we wanted to talk about business, we wanted to talk about the relationship with county government and business, and we covered a number of issues.
Well, we work with the business community in order to make sure they stay here in a number of different ways. For instance, on our small business, the IDA could never give loans to small businesses because the paperwork was just incredible. Well, we've developed a template and an easy a way of going about it and not having to hire all kinds of professionals in order to get things like $80,000 to $100,000, under $1 million. And that has been helpful. We make sure that we keep our ears and eyes open to anything going on where companies may want to move or go somewhere else, so we make sure we're on top of that. We have a great website that reaches out to the not only the immediate public but to other places also, so that they know what benefits there are here. We do really well in the competition between Fairfield and New Jersey.
And Westchester is a great place to do business. You mentioned before, too, that despite what's been going on with the national economy and the regional economy, Westchester seems to be holding its own.
Westchester's holding its own. The relationship between the general business community and the specific organizations like the Business Council and the County Association has been excellent. We depend on them to give us feedback on what we're doing and how we're doing it. And we work closely with them. So, you know, it's very nice, but it's a tough economy. But even in this tough economy, we're doing well. And that's because of the quality of life here in Westchester.
We talked about economic development. We talked about attracting and retaining businesses. We talked about affordable housing, which is a very hot topic here because employers need to have housing for their workers to attract and retain a good workforce. And we talked about the Tappan Zee Bridge. We talked about energy, which is another big concern for businesses here, especially with Con Ed wanting to raise the rates now 25% for businesses. We know Mr. Spano is adamant about closing down Indian Point, so we asked about some of the alternatives there if Indian Point were to be shut down. We talked about county government in general. There's been a lot of criticism of the county government lately. There's a move afoot to eliminate county government. We talked about the possibility of consolidating some services, and we talked about health care. We talked about the medical center, and we asked the county executive who is now in his third term, and he will be seeking a fourth, what his legacy, what he would like his legacy to be. If there was one thing I would ask you, or one initiative or one program that really stands out, what would that be? What is Mr. Spano's legacy?
Well, I don't know about legacy, but let me just say that the proudest accomplishments I have is making sure that we have a Westchester County Medical Center, saving the medical center. It's such an important asset to this particular region and to the people who use it. It's a unique place and a wonderful place, and I think it's on a strong footing. And I think the county government had a lot to do with making that happen. And then, of course, we have the Westchester Telecom, which is the high-speed bandwidth that we put around. We're still the only county in the country that has that, which has attracted companies here and helped our schools and our municipalities. And if I had to talk about something that's small but very big in my mind, it's the Miracle League. It's a field we built for youngsters with disabilities and anyone with disabilities, so they can play baseball for the first time. And it has been an incredible success.
And that's in Greenberg?
That's in Greenberg, yeah. It's in Ridge Road Park in Greenberg. And anybody should, on a weekend during the summer and spring, you can see people playing ball. And now we've expanded it to adults who have disabilities, and they've been using it during the week.